beautiful humans. So excited to have you joining us today. And as you can see, I have another partner in crime. I'm so excited. This is one of my besties for a long, long, long time. Like, we know all the secrets and where all the things are hidden. For sure. And today I wanted us to talk about, sometimes we have this picture in our mind. Okay, we're in it. We want to design our best life. We want to live our best life right now. We want to bring our best self to the table. We want to live in joy. We want to have the best vibe. We want to shift into the best energy. And we can want all those things and yet still find ourselves like, how exactly am I going to do that? Because I'm finding myself in the thick of the same thoughts and emotions. So today is going to be about some equipping. So if that sounds like something that interests you, then just keep watching. Now we're back. So of course, the little drill. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay, so this is Jennifer Lafabregue, but because the last name is so long and difficult and challenging to spell, we have always called her J-Law. So kind of like J-Lo, J-Law. She is a licensed professional counselor and certified life coach. She has run her own business for many years. She's actually had a couple of different businesses. And through a series of circumstances, just found herself in a place that she wanted to get some more equipping for her and then to share with those that she loved. And so she has such a gifting for this, you guys. Such a gifting for listening, for really seeing you. It's such a treasure to get to work with her and watch, what she does and how aware and alert she is. So I've learned many things that have been very equipping. So this is kind of the picture she taught me was, as humans, we kind of like in building or designing our dream life, just like if we were building or designing our dream home, we would want this like toolbox of different tools. And we also would probably want a village of different people with different skill sets to help us build our dream house, or in this case, our dream life. So over the years, she has helped give me, and so countless others, these tools, if you will, to help us really create the atmosphere that we want to live in and that will help our soul rise, help us remember who we really are and really thrive in our giftedness instead of maybe what was put on us or said over us, or we interpreted a certain way. And so, first of all, J-Law, why don't you tell them kind of your vision of what you do and what you love about what you do?
Well, thank you for that wonderful words. So when I started down the path of becoming a licensed professional counselor, I really had the heart of noticing myself kind of butting up against certain things and not knowing how to move past that. And so I was wanting some other equipping, and I was noticing that a lot with friends, family, and I just feel like we all have the desire to be seen and be heard, and for us to have a place where we can be authentically us and maybe even like discover or rediscover who we are, because we've gotten lost in it in the dailiness. And so I just have a heart for people that feel stuck maybe, or they have that thought in their mind like, okay, I'm doing the things I don't want to do and I'm not doing the things I do want to do. Like what is happening? So I love to come alongside my clients. I feel like it's a sacred space and a sacred place that we can discover together some things that might be a revelation, just some transformational things, just to help them move through the stuckness of life.
Oh, I love that. Because even in spite of our best efforts, we can all get to a place that we feel stuck, or honestly, in the growth phenomenon as humans, we can plateau.
Yeah.
And so then it's about, okay, well, I mean, I'm okay with plateauing, but I'm really also ready to go to the next level. So what does that look like for me? So this exercise that I asked her to share with you is just one of the many, but it really is one of those, because it's visual, it helps me, like mind, body, soul, just recalibrate. And so tell them about what we're going to be talking about today.
So I call it the road, and really this is like the people who tend to be people pleasers. This really resonates with them. And also just for people who need reminders of like, what are boundaries? Why do we have boundaries? What is healthy? What is not healthy? And like sometimes how our thoughts we think are like just a common, like, because that's what I've always thought. Just shedding some light on just some new framing of that.
She's great at frame and reframe. Okay, so we have her in super fun iPad with drawing all the things. So we're going to actually do some screen sharing here for you. So Jayla, take us there.
Okay, so if I were to draw this on a piece of paper, what does this look like to you?
Okay, so the dashes, well, you kind of gave me a clue. The road.
Yes, correct. And here is beautiful Julia. And would you agree that you have thoughts, feelings, actions, reactions? And that all of those are 100% yours?
Yes.
Correct. And would you also agree that you have like goals, dreams,
Yes,
desires? Yes. And those also are 100% yours?
yes.
So if we're thinking about a road, what do we think that maybe some of these things would represent?
So I'm thinking maybe, a pothole or like a hazard on the road or.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So any like like it's our stuff, right? So it could be big T trauma, it could be little T trauma, it could be our biases, our insecurities, any of those things, right?
Yes.
And so our stuff. And one of the things that we know about how God created us is that there are other humans in the world, right?
Indeed.
That we get to interact with. And so I'm not going to write all of this out, but would you also agree that other people that we interact with have their own thoughts, feelings, actions, reactions? Da, 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 da.
Yes.
And so would you agree that those are 100% theirs?
Yes.
Correct. And so the thing about us knowing that this is our stuff and our emotions is every day when we wake up, we have these as God's gift to us to steward and steward well, right? So that is our gift. Here is your stuff to steward and steward well today. So when we're thinking about these things on the road, what do those represent?
The dashes.
You're right.
Like me stay on my side.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like
it's the boundary.
The boundary.
It's the boundary, yes. And so when we're in relationship with people, we need boundaries. Because what if you just veer off into somebody else's lane when you're driving down the road?
It's going to be a wreck.
Yeah, it's not good. But the great thing about us being in relationship with one another is we need boundaries, and then in the dashes, in between the space, that is where we connect, where we have like all of our memories made, where we have intimacy, where we share like all of the good stuff. Connection. And so we need that. And then I love for us to think about sometimes the thoughts that come across of our mind. So when we're in relationship with other people, have you ever heard yourself think this thought about, I should not say this because I don't want to hurt so-and-so's feelings.
Oh, yeah, I have thought that, yes.
So as you see the arrow, whose side of the road are you on?
Oh, I have switched sides.
Yes. we just had established that if we're over in somebody's lane, like, not great things are happening, right? Correct. So what I like to remind my clients are, because there's so much energy that we expend trying to keep people from, hurting their feelings. And it is all so we can preserve the relationship. But what we want to do is we want to stay in our lane, because when we have adult relationships, what we need to remember is that their feelings and their thoughts and actions are theirs, and they're responsible. So if, unintentionally, because, our intent is usually great.
Yes.
It is perception that is usually where the miscommunication happens. So we have every great intention. Somebody's feelings get hurt. So it is their responsibility to come back and say, hey, when we were together and such happened, I felt hurt. Could you say that in a different way to where I could maybe understand it and not receive it that way?
Okay, so let's go back on screen for a second then, the two of us. So this is ideal, right, people? I mean, if only all the humans were this mature. Is that what y'all are thinking too? Like, well, heck yeah, I could have all those conversations. Even if I screwed it up, I knew that they were going to come back, and be like, okay, could we just have a conversation? Of course, that's not always. Some of the other humans might not have gotten the coaching that we are receiving today. So how would you encourage us? Let's just assume for a moment, Jayla, that we are the healthiest person in the relationship. We're the ones watching YouTubes like this, working to grow in how we're showing up in the world and staying in our side of the road and all of that. So when something does go awry and they don't have that beautiful response and want to just reconnect with great words, and maybe they come to us with hurt and not a great presentation, and it almost maybe sounds hurtful to us, about us. What are some things that you could also maybe give us clues to stay on our side of the road in healthy boundaries, but also how can we help restore some communication while still owning that, okay, that was not fabulous.
Right. So us being self-aware enough of knowing, kind of like, okay, is my chest getting tight? Am I getting irritable? And then being able to take a time out. It's okay for us to take a time out. And so when you can say, you know what, I just need to take a little bit of a break. I would like to push pause on this conversation and come back to it when we can be more constructive and productive. And, I can do some deep breathing. You don't have to tell them that, but, you go do some deep breathing, maybe go for a walk, change your scenery, journal, and then come back to them and go, okay, like when the temperatures have calmed down and cooled, then when stronger heads have prevailed and we're all calm and there's not all the emotion and the heightenedness, we can come back and have a conversation that is constructive and then explain again.
And so this is one of the things I think is so beautiful about this. Of course, the whole moral of the story, if you will, is that we don't get to pick what's on their side of the road, right? So we might bring our very best, and whatever response and reaction and thoughts and feelings they have, that's on their side of the road. And then they may be sharing that with us. So then it's back in our court or our side of the road of, okay, now how do I want to, in the most healthy, best way for me and for the sake of the relationship, how do I want to respond to this? And this can take a lot of effort, y'all, because it's doing some unlearning, if you will, and maybe untying some knots so that we can have some of that slack, the freedom in the rope, the ties that bind, but there's some movement in there. It's not just this jerky tug of war situation.
Correct.
And the other thing I just wanted to say too is, I've always been taught that hurting people hurt people. I'm sad to say I've of course been one of those people. I'm sure most of us on the planet have. And healed people help heal people.
Yeah.
So make sure that we're remembering both parts of the story. There is a chapter 1 and there's a chapter 2. So also, hurt often happens inside of relationships, and healing, beautiful healing, comes inside of healthy relationships.
Right.
So, oh my gosh, I'm dying to read your comments. If you have any comments or questions that you're like, I really want her, I want the professional to answer, then just tell me that and I will totally send it her way. We're going to link below all of her yummy goodness of where she can be found, and if you were want to work with her or check her out, all those things. Thank you so much for being part, you guys. We want this channel to be about bringing life and light and hope and healing and love. And we know some people may not ever want to darken the door of a therapist, or we may all have different stuff in our background about the way we view God and church and healing and different things. But maybe today you stumbled on this video and it can serve you to bring some more healing and openness to your heart, and that is our heart's desire. So, as always, y'all know, like, share, subscribe, do the things. And thanks a million for tuning in. See you next time.